For student athletes at WSU, the money they are promised to receive to cover tuition is one of the biggest incentives of being an athlete. The Student Athletic Advisory Committee at WSU met on Monday, November 17th, to discuss the Pac-12 and the NCAA establishing a new rule for student athletes to ensure that students will now receive their full tuition they are promised when they sign their letter of intent. Sarah Steger, an athlete on the WSU women's rowing team, elaborated on how important this new rule is.
I came here on a full scholarship, 100%, international student from Australia. You know, it's a long way. The flight alone is $3,200. So coming here, thought I had that 100% guarantee that I would keep my tuition and my living expenses. However, 2 years into the scholarship, my team's performance improved dramatically to the point where they could start recruiting on a much higher level. And for that reason, my scholarship, along with another girls on the team, was reduced. And so just that was a very major effect on my life. And I think that the fact that they're changing that is really encouraging to see for future people, just because, especially for international students, you know, you're not going to come to another country if you have to pay out-of-state tuition.
We also talked about upcoming reforms and laws for the 2015-2016 school year. So one of the big ones was the scholarship reform. They're changing it so that a scholarship will last 4 years and it can't be reduced, it can only be increased. So that's a new NCAA rule coming into effect next year, from next year onwards.
As the Associate Athletic Director for Student Athlete Development, what do you think of the potential change to how scholarships are handed out?
Well, I think there's a lot of interesting factors that go into that. One, I think it's a welfare issue that's being addressed through the NCAA, recognizing that institutions need to make the guarantee and the promise to student athletes that when they arrive at the institution that they're going to be cared for financially through their entire tenure, basically their college experience. And so I think in that way it creates a sense of comfort and a sense of positivity on the front end. I think there's some interesting challenges that go along with that. Obviously student athletes need to maintain good status, be good citizens, all those things for that rule for those benefits to be basically at their disposal. But also the uniqueness of being a student athlete, I think it'll be curious to see how those student athletes approach their 4-year tenure. Often, as it stands right now, student athletes for athletic purposes may transfer, not necessarily for academic reasons, for playing time and or athletic opportunities. So I'd be curious to see how those two things intersect.